Hey everybody, today I'm going to be recording the first progress video for my undergraduate thesis project. In this demo I want to highlight the combat system that I just finished working on, as well as just a look at the terrain that I've been mapping. The game is intended for the Oculus VR platform, but when I set up and tested recording, I noticed that none of the widgets I had made worked on a VR platform, because I've been developing them on a flat screen. So now I'm going to need to go and replace all of those 2D widgets with 3D widgets. But for now, I'm just going to record this video in two parts. The first part, I'll run the game on the standard flat screen environment that I've been working, and then at the end I'll record the Oculus version, avoiding the in-game widgets. So let's go ahead and get started. Right. So the first thing we're looking at here is the title screen. Now this is one of the images that Epic Games uses everywhere for the Unreal Engine. It was in the tutorial and I just kind of grabbed it. So at some point I would like to replace this, but it's not a huge priority. It's just more of a proof of concept. Any image can be placed there, so I might just leave it. The main menu has three basic options. Quit the game. I'm not going to do that right now. Options menu just lets you change the resolution at the moment. That might evolve as I add in things like subtitles or maybe give the users ability to adjust volume. But for now, I don't want to. These work, but I don't want to click them because it'll just mess up the recording frame that I have. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So you're seeing we're playing from a first-person perspective, which one of the worst things was getting these pair of hands to work. I don't know why it was so hard to find them. There was no assets I found. I had to sculpt them myself, rig them myself, and then animate them. So you kind of got what you got out of that. The idle animation might be a little awkward, but it'll do for me right now. So yeah, this is kind of the basic terrain that I've sculpted so far. This is to change, but it's just something to work with at the moment. What you're probably hearing right now, aside from like some small ambient noise, is these little goblins walking around over here. They make a little noise, little cackling noise as they're walking. And there's three of them, so it's becoming a little annoying. So we've got your basic trees, which are just operating in foliage, and you can see the walk animation and hear the footsteps. And the trees I found somewhere, they have a nice little windy animation on their static mesh, so that's cool. So yeah, right now I don't want to trigger these guys. These guys are walking around aimlessly at the moment, but they're looking to find someone to attack. They're going to become aggressive. So if I scoot around the edges here, they should notice me in their walk zone. I just want to take a look at some more of the terrain over here. We'll look at fighting them once I put on the Oculus. Over here you've got a little pond that I made, sculpted out of the ground, added a nice little water shader on the top. I'm going to use this in the future for a gathering skill like fishing, but I just need it to do this right now, just have some kind of environment to work with. I think, yes, I made it so I made it so that you wouldn't go underwater, so I wouldn't have to write in the particle effects and everything for being underwater. Although I think there is one location over here, yep, where you actually end up going under. So I might bring that back up. I don't really know. I've found actually in the VR set when you're under there and you look up, you can see the top of the water. So it'll be fine then. This is just some of the mountainous terrain that I sculpted out, meshing together the materials for the ground at certain levels to give it that kind of rocky appearance. I'll probably change some of these later, but this is just all with the Unreal Landscape Sculptor. It's really a cool, very cool tool. I enjoyed that a lot. So yeah, to get into combat, I'm going to switch over to the Oculus. But one other thing I do have is a pause menu. Pauses the game, just escape key or P key. I bound the P key as well to it because in the Unreal editor, when you're working, if you hit escape, it'll kill the game. So I can't have that when I'm writing the game. So yeah, let's switch over to the Oculus. I'll be right back. Alright, we are back in the game with the Oculus now, and I believe we're recording. So I'm going to go ahead and show off a little bit of the combat. And as I was doing some testing for this, don't worry, very well prepared, I found out there's something else I hadn't really taken into account, was that the viewport for the head-mounted display version of the game is actually significantly smaller than the flat screen placement in the world, so of the camera. So some of the distances that I worked out for the attacks aren't exactly great. You'll see what I mean here in a second. But of course I can hit them all I want. They just have some trouble hitting me. So, you know, just made me overpowered, I guess. Alright, so let's go find these guys. They are walking around in this forest, just on random walk paths within here, just kind of strolling around doing their thing. They're also constantly searching for players, so if I happen to walk into their field of view, then they're going to aggro me. So I'm going to try to get one of these at a time. Let's see if I can't sneak up on them a little bit. They like to turn around and without really any warning and just kind of attack. Oh, there they are. Alright, so now you can see he's aggroed onto me. They'll attack once about every 2 seconds. I'm going to work on a little bit. Right now it's just using the idling animation in between. I'll probably make a combat idle animation. And as you see, I can kind of juke him pretty good because my viewport's kind of messed up. If I stand directly on top of him, though, there you can see now he's able to hit me. I took some damage, although once again with these widgets, you cannot see that at all. It's so far up there. You can see his health bar, but you can't really see mine. So now we're going to give him a swing. As you saw, his health decreased when I made contact, and luckily, I guess it has to do with how large this sword is, as opposed to how small his little swords are there. But he cannot hit me from there, and I'll need to change his distance to be a little closer when using the arc. Man, that's an ugly face. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of this guy. So I'm on an attack delay, but once I kill him... Oh! Sorry, the Oculus camera fell over. That's cool. Nice little snafu going on there. I'm going to try to fix this without actually being able to see. We'll leave that one in there. That's fine. Alright, don't worry though. There are 3 more of these guys running around. Let's go ahead and walk into his field of view. Dang, these buggers like to move fast. Alright, let's try to get at least another death animation there. Now, as you saw there, there's actually a small combo system to it. So let me not kill him immediately with this one. Where if you swing and then click again, it does a longer lunge attack. And there, now we got a better view of his death and despawn. And I'll try that combo. I thought about adding in more combos. The structure is in there. It's just about me making the animations at this point, which is not the greatest thing in the world. Here's the last guy. Walking around, not knowing what's going on. And here we go. Now, if you do that attack, click again, and there, did a second attack. So, there. Alright. And now, I will likely switch back over to the flat screen now, to show that I am actually losing health when these guys attack, and that I actually do have a death mechanic in place. So, I will switch back. Oh, I did want to go see how this looked over here, because see, I'm actually lower. So there we are. With the Oculus, you can see the underside of the water shader. So, oh man, yep, there it is. So I might actually leave this in. This is a cool little view here. But yeah, I'll be back in a second with the flat screen display. And now we're back on the flat version, just so I could go through what I just did again. How it was worked out from this flat perspective. When it developed for the flat instead of for VR. So I'll need to change how the camera is placed in a VR environment. And so let's just redo what I did. Also, I don't know if I did highlight this, but I am actually sprinting where I walk with shift. So normal walk, sprinting, just something there. Alright, now let's lower this little guy. Alright. So now, hold on, he did actually miss me. There. Now you can see these guys do actually do damage. I guess I could just sit here and let him do this. I I'll probably end up bumping up how much damage they actually do to me, but in fairness, like, he'll follow me. So, if I really want, I can get all these guys on me at once. Which looks like a great idea, right? Well, if I want them to actually do damage to me. And, you know what, let's at least put up a small fight back. Maybe if I aim in the right direction. Oh, and then I died. Yeah, so they did deal all of my health. I just wanted to show the death. Obviously, I'm not that bad at the game, I hope. So yeah, there's two options, obviously, from here, just to restart the level. So that is it for this first progress video. I'd like to have at least 2 more of these done before the end of my thesis project. Willing that I have the time, because it does take a little bit to record these and then edit, and that's valuable time I could be spending developing the game or working on the paper or something. But this is just kind of to document the progress as I go along and kind of watch it change. One thing I would definitely like to do, and I probably will start work on very soon, is making this area at least a little more detailed, adding in some other stuff, working on getting that pond over there to work with gathering some type of food for healing, so you don't just, have to die. Yeah. So I appreciate anyone that stuck around to watch this, and I will try to have more out in the future.